fantastic sound of nature. If you're one of those people who enjoys sitting down to a nice glass of wine and watching an educational documentary about bird watching, you're going to have a bad couple of minutes. We're going to be talking about cars. Here we have a turn-of-the-century Nissan Navara. It's a well-built, reliable, and thoroughly unremarkable car. We found a guy called Scotty who took the power plant out of this car and made it go over 300 kilometers an hour. He fell off a cliff. That's not funny.
You have to start, and not being funny about it, but you start at the basics because people have no clue like what's involved in getting a race car to go from here to there, 400 metres in a really quick time. It's, it looks really easy, but it's not. This is the engine that was in when we ran the world's fastest Nissan time, and after that run it was actually intact. The engine was intact and ready to race again, and this was simply caused by the fact that I started in second gear instead of first gear. So I had the gear lever in the wrong position, started in second gear, and that put so much load on the motor that it just cracked the engine block in half.
Scott Porter is one of the few people that can live to tell the tale of what it's like to crash a car at almost 300 kilometres an hour. This occurred during the 2012 Nitro Championships at the Eastern Creek Raceway in Sydney.
And he must have known something was going to happen because when I strapped him in, like I normally do all the belts up for him, and I pull him down pretty tight. And I said, "You all good?" And he goes, yeah, I'm fine. And then about a couple of seconds later, I had the door open still, just before we're about to do it. He goes, "Just pull down on those belts a bit harder." He must have known something was going to happen. So
pretty much the car, as we're going straight down the track, we were travelling around about. We haven't actually got the data out of the car yet. And when we get the data out of the computer, will actually tell us exactly the point on the track that it happened and how fast we were going. So at this point we don't know that, but at half track we were doing 252 kilometres an hour, and we were probably about three-quarter track when it turned and hit the wall. So be estimating, between 280 and 300.
He crashed into the wall.
Yeah. Did you hear it when it happened? No?
There was a little tunnel and he turned too much.
Yeah. Did he hit the wall? Wow.
And then it turned onto its roof.
Safety would have to be something that's quite heavily weighted on in your mind when Scotty does these sort of things. How do you manage the stress of when it happens?
I suppose I've had the opportunity to see the car being built, and I know that there's no shortcuts taken. He just makes things, or this car, as safe as he can. What more can you do, really? Just got to hope he stays straight, doesn't crash.
Has the crash changed your view on this hobby's future?
No, I wouldn't say so. People crash on a semi-regular basis. It's part of the sport. It hasn't made me think anything differently about it other than implementing a few extra safety things.
When you had a family a few years ago, has that really changed, or has that changed your input into how the drag racing fits around it?
When the kids came along, we weren't actually competing at this level, so it was not taking up so much time. I guess it's always a balance. Everything that you have to do in your life, work, family, hobby. So it's a balancing act, and just try and get it right. I always try and make an effort for the kids and Sarah to come to the race meetings, to keep them involved, because then they get to see what we're doing at the track, and it makes it more of a family outing rather than me just going off doing my thing.